Mohammed Shafiq at Ramadhan Foundation. I mean, let's get back to the victims. These are very, very young girls. It's, it's appalling and so upsetting this. And you have in fact said that, and I checked this quote with you before, I know you've said it, that young white teenage girls are seen as less valuable as trash by some men in Asian communities. So you're, this is very uncomfortable for people. You are acknowledging that this is an issue.
I think there's two very central principles, and the reason why I did the piece for the Times was important, that we had to take the taboo away from this topic and really have an honest and open debate. And up until Jack Straw's intervention, we had a very honest debate. I was proud of the debate we were having as a country. It was very balanced, and we were dealing with issues and really focusing on the victims. But the problem is, if I could just pick up Anne's point with Jack's intervention, is he made a very generalised statement about something that's been ingrained within communities, that is part of a culture. There's no culture or any faith in this country.
And there's been outrage about it. Mohammed, let me mention, there has been outrage about it, and people are arguing it really feeds into the agenda of the BNP and groups like that. But let's get back to the victims. Let's get back to the issue. Let's take it away from Jack, can we?
Yeah, I mean, for me, and I was very clear in the article, that there is a perception amongst criminal gangs. These are criminals. They don't represent a particular faith community. But in terms of the work that I've done over the past 3 years on this particular issue of grooming, is that there is a perception amongst some of these young criminals that white girls are less valuable than their own daughters and sisters within their own community. And so I think that's the starting point. The part is, how do you tackle that viewpoint? And you do that through grassroots work and education and actually reaching out to those girls. Inflammatory language used by, Anne, I have a tremendous amount of respect for some of the work that she's done, but she sometimes falls into the trap of living in a past system. The community, the Pakistani community, has tremendously changed over the past 25 years. And to suggest that we're all heading back to Pakistan and we were hand-picked, my marriage partner was hand-picked for me and vice versa for me as well, is just deeply irresponsible.
Well, Anne, I'll come to you guys in a second. Anne Cryer.
I mean, I have to say that in the Keighley-Bradford area, and I know it is different in London, and I'm not disputing that.
I'm a northerner, and I come from Rochdale.
Just before we close, I want to hear from the audience, but I think it's a very important point to make, one you made to me before the programme, Mohammed, when we were having a chat, is that you have had, in your campaigning on this issue, with Anne Cryer, you've had tremendous and heartwarming support from the Pakistani communities.
I think that's the important thing. It's the point Kelvin was making, and I don't often agree with Kelvin, so I think I'm going to enjoy your moment.
You'll get better. You'll get better.
The serious point is this: that 3 years ago, when I did Panorama and raised this issue, I received death threats, I received hate mail, and I received some resistance from the community. This time, actually, walking down the streets in this community over the past few days since the Times piece, actually, I've been inundated with a huge level of support and total anger amongst young British Pakistanis who find what happened with these girls abhorrent. And so I think we are making progress. And it's, Emma's story is the reason I got involved in this. Emma's the reason why I was inspired to speak on this issue. And that's why Jack Straw and Anne Cryer sometimes wacky comments take away the real focus, which is the victims. Absolutely.